It is my second favorite day of the week, semifinal Saturday, and we are in beautiful North Carolina this time around. Welcome into the Bassmaster halftime show presented by Bass Cat Boats. A beautiful semifinal Saturday we have. A little brisk, not the weather we were expecting rolling into this event, but wow, what fireworks we have seen throughout this event. An incredible fishery, and the crazy thing is, it's taken us a long time to head to North Carolina for this event. Pasquotank River, of course, the St. Croix Bassmaster Elite at the Pasquotank River. But I don't think it'll take us a long time to head back, because as incredible, as diverse a tournament as we've had, everybody said that if it was just a few days earlier before the weather turned, it would have been even better, which is hard to imagine when you look at your tournament leader with 60 pounds after 2 days of competition. I'm Dave Mercer, joined by Kyle Jesse, and this is a crazy tournament. It is a tale of two worlds. I mean, the tournament that Kyle Welcher is fishing, which seems to be on another planet, and everybody else.
It sounds funny to say that Kyle Welcher's going through some adversity today, because he still had 20 pounds right now on Bass Track, has a massive lead. But, you know, we just went to break on live cast, saw him fishing for a real big one. But like you said, it's been really diverse. Guys doing a lot of different things. Been a ton of fun to watch, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch the rest of the day.
Well, let's look at a little fishing right now, and we'll go through our top four as they left the dock this morning. We'll kick things off with a two-time Bassmaster winner, one win in the Opens, one win in the Elite Series, the always lethal Brandon Lester. And he has done a lot of damage here this week. Fishing, I mean, if you look at the amount of time he spent around docks, I mean, it looks like his kind of the way you're used to seeing him fish Florida fisheries.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously a great start this morning for Brandon Lester, 17 pounds, almost 18 pounds on Bass Track. You know, one of the first catches we saw on live this morning was Brandon Lester at this bridge. Caught a big one on a jig, mentioned that all week long he had seen those fish set up on that bridge and hadn't been able to get him to bite. Certainly a great start for Brandon Lester. Still room to grow in his bag right now. Still has, you know, a 2-pounder, a 1.6. A lot of room to grow, but a great start for Brandon Lester nonetheless.
Proving once again the universe hates me. I say it looks like Florida, and the footage we're looking at looks nothing like Florida, really. But he has done a lot of damage at that bridge, and has had a great week. And you got to believe at this point, very rarely do you have no pressure on the elites. They have very, very little pressure.
Absolutely. I mean, you get to go out there, you get to have fun, try to catch the biggest bag you can. You know, we heard Trey McKinney talk about it early this morning, that he was fishing for second place. There's still a lot of money on the line, a lot to fish for.
A guy who never feels pressure, Tyler Williams, the main event, a two-time Classic qualifier, and similar to my friend Randy Bobandy, who is allergic to material on his upper body, he is allergic to shoes.
If I was allergic to shoes on a day like today, I would be in big, big trouble, because it is chilly here in North Carolina, especially for the time of the year. But certainly not stopping Tyler Williams from doing exactly what he does. What is that, you might ask? Flipping a jig. He does it everywhere we go, whether he's fishing it deep, fishing it shallow. He did tell us yesterday that he made a big, massive change to his jig. 3/4 ounce all the way down to a 3/8 ounce. I don't think we've ever seen him have to make an adjustment to this point. He's making it look pretty easy so far this morning. You know, just flipping these trees with that jig early on. Had some really nice bites, and certainly always an angler to keep an eye on when the jig is going to be in play.
From one young pro to an even younger pro, the youngest Elite Series champion in history, Illinois pro Trey McKinney.
Absolutely. Trey McKinney, I mean, the start he had at the beginning of the Elite Series, you know, we saw it, and it was something we had not seen throughout the course of his rookie season. Had very little struggle. Obviously, Smith Lake being one of his biggest, you know, goosebumps there. But obviously a great start here this week. Have seen him on camera most of the week, doing a lot of the similar things that Tyler Williams is doing. Similar areas. I know at the end of the show yesterday, we got to see them catch up with each other on the water a little bit. But Trey McKinney mixing in a few different things, flipping, you know, a jig, Texas rig. Also going to a finesse bait, looks like a Nico rig, so certainly changing it up, and looks like he's having a good time out there.
Having a good time, always having a good time. Hot off a second place finish, obviously at the Bassmaster Classic, and it looked like he was going to be sitting there after day number one, and obviously sitting there right now. Only guy having more fun than him is one dude who is on another planet this week. Kyle Welcher talked about a tough pre-fish, but the old adage, tough pre-fish, good tournament, it definitely worked out for him this time around.
That's certainly been the case. I mean, you've mentioned it a handful of times this week, you know, his ability to slow down in these areas that early on in the tournament we saw a lot of anglers speed by, you know, go through. Cameraman Wes Miller mentioned that early on day one. I mean, at this point, we basically have to judge Kyle Welcher against himself. Every single day has brought in over 30 pounds over the course of the first 2 days. Today, already at 20 pounds, 12 ounces. You know, we've seen him have a couple misses. I don't think any of the other guys in the field are feeling too bad for him at this point in the day, but certainly made this look way too easy to this point in the tournament. You know, not fishing far from takeoff, decided not to make the run. We heard him just moments ago said that early on day one, he was going to give himself a chance to get lucky close. And catching 2 big ones right off the bat on day one certainly gave him that chance, and he's not looked back since.
Yep. Unbelievable tournament he is having, and what a week. I mean, the question now, can he chase down Welcher and chase his, or not Welcher, Walters, and chase down his record of the biggest win margin of 29 pounds. Left the dock this morning with a 22-pound lead. So he's having a great week. And you know what? We're having a great week. And I'll tell you why. Because yesterday we were joined by an absolute legend in this sport, Bass Fishing Hall of Famer, the amazing Basil Bacon, one of the most entertaining, interesting anglers in the history of this sport, and he just happens to be the last champion we had on this very body of water. It was 44 years ago, but he is joining us here again today. The viewers have spoken, Basil Bacon. They want more of you, and we're going to give it to them. Basil, you have a great, incredible history, but you also spent some time on the water with some other legends of the sport, and I imagine you're going to fill us with a story time about the time you spent some time on the water with Forrest L. Wood.
That was on that particular tournament. Forrest and I fished together quite a bit, and we'd found some fish on a bank down Flighty Creek. Now, this bank was not like most of the bank. You know, you got cypress trees everywhere. And this particular bank had some overhanging trees, a couple of bushy kind of trees out from it, but for the most part, there would just be a couple of blades of grass on the bank that was hanging over, or maybe just one little stick and occasionally a stump or something. And there wasn't a lot of fish, but I had a lot of confidence that there was a lot of fish on this bank. Was about a mile long, and Forrest would start on one end of it, and I'd start on the other. Well, we got in that morning, and I pulled up on my first stump. Now, this is one of these stumps that's all laid out underneath the roots and standing up like a mad spider, and got 5 pound written all over the top of it, or a sign like Motel 6, you know he's there. And I made 4 flips into this thing, and nothing. Oh boy, this was my best shot. And I went on to the next one, and my partner threw in behind me, and bingo, he yanks a 5 pounder out of there. Ooh, wait a minute. I had one of my best friends tell me something one time, and I think I'll listen to him. The guy's name was Roland Martin, and he had been known several times to throw as many as 40, 50 times at one stick to finally catch a fish off of it. Now, he just knew that fish was there. I knew these fish were here. Didn't have any TV sets to tell us where it was, but we had the confidence. And so I put my trolling motor on creepy call, started down the bank, and going along, and every once in a while I would catch one, but I was crawling super slow. And got down, went around this one point down there, and laying out in front of this, in the middle of a tree. I don't know what kind of a tree it was, biggest cottonmouth I ever seen in my life. And so eased on down the bank, and a little bit of running into Forrest, and you know, the normal, well, how you doing? Well, I got a couple. How about you? Got one. And other salutations, and then on down the lake. And I turned around and I said, by the way, Forrest, I said, the biggest cottonmouth I ever seen in my life laying out on that point bush. I'd give him a wide berth. And he said, well, I reckon Hal's got a 357 Magnum bird shot. I'll tend to him when he get there. So we went on down, and I fished around and came back and met in about the same spot. And we did the same discussion of how many you got, and started on down. I said, oh, by the way, Forrest, I didn't hear that gun go off down there anywhere. Was that snake gone? He said, well, as a matter of fact, that snake wasn't gone, but he said, I was a little bit afraid that bird shot would just make him mad. So we proceeded on down the way, and I had 2 days of just really slow fishing. I couldn't get forced to slow his trolling motor down, and he did not do well. And I had another buddy of mine, Cliff Kraft, was fishing that same bank for 3 days, and he's cranking a spinner bait, and he caught one fish a day off of it. But the fact that I slowed down and beat it to death was the thing that really made it work. And then the last day, I drew a kid from, I believe it was Virginia City, and we went down there, and I had a little bit of trouble persuading him, but I finally kept hammering on him to throw into this one spot, and he caught a real good fish. I got real happy, and we proceeded on, and at noon, my trolling motor had a magnet break loose in it, and I was dead in the water. I fished for 32 years I was a purist. I used nothing but a hand-controlled trolling motor, and that's the only time in 32 years I was without a trolling motor because it broke, but that motor would not work. So I had a buck saw there, and I cut one limb, and I had a push pole, and I let him use the push pole, and I used this other one that we'd made, and I would move the boat about a length and a half to 2 lengths, and we'd stop, and we would sit there by my watch for 10 minutes, and we was just hitting. We wouldn't have but 2 or 3 things to throw at, and you just keep over and over and over. And to continue the story on, at the end of the day, he helped me, and it was great. Wonderful. We had a good day. He had a good catch that day. Came in, and old man got lucky and won one.
Wow, great story. Always legendary stories. Before we leave here, Basil, can you give us one coffee time?
Yeah, hey, listen, one thing on those, that fish that they're catching out there right now, they didn't grow that big back then. I don't know what's going on because, you know, you go brackish water anywhere in the United States, you find brackish water, 5-pounders, big fish. And what they're doing, and I don't know if we can say that this is what caused it or not, but way back when, there was a whole bunch of fishermen and a bunch of tournament organizations that started learning how to catch fish and keep them alive and putting them back. And what we really did was we were just trying to keep them killing ourselves, because we'd have a tournament and they'd, you know, put the knife to 6,000 or 7,000 pounds of fish during the tournament, and it bothered all of us very much. And but it caused us to quit killing the fish. But the main thing it did is once we did that, every bass club in the United States followed suit, and I was so glad to see you do, but it did, because you know, it's old TV lakes, back when it was a 10-fish limit, and it took 30 pounds of fish to win it. You go to the same ones, and it's 30 pounds a day with only 5 fish. So it's a great accomplishment, and I was just proud to be a part of it.
Well, on behalf of all anglers around the world, we want to thank you guys for having the foresight to think of catch and release and make it better for years and years to come. The legendary Basil Bacon, thank you very much. I love a little story time with Basil Bacon. We got lots coming up here from the Bassmaster halftime show, and the legends keep on rolling here. From one Bass Fishing Hall of Famer, we're going to be joined by what I would say is a future Bass Fishing Hall of Famer already in his young career. Brandon Palnick going to join us, and he knows a thing or two about what Kyle Welcher's going through, and that's big leads.
Absolutely. Just a few weeks ago, Lake Okeechobee, Brandon, super familiar with this big lead. We'll talk to him, see what he has to say, how those pressures affect you on the final couple days.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Bassmaster Halftime Show, presented by Bass Cat Boats.
Professional angler Jason Christie knows the performance and feel of a reel in his hands is very important. And that's why he designed the new Spro JC Elite and JC Elite MG Baitcast reels to achieve both of those goals. The reels have 4 gear ratios for any technique, and the frame of each reel is the same size. So no matter which speed you use, they feel the same. 9 bearings, long casting, and loaded with power. Give the JC Elite and JC Elite MG a try this season.
It's definitely like quarter today.
Man, I really need to make this cut. I need to make up points quick.
Positive mental attitude.
I hope they stay where I found them.
Are they even pulling water?
Too far. And I hope nobody else.
Man, it's too windy.
The water's too high.
Avco, keeping you comfortable on the outside, no matter how you're feeling on the inside.
25 years as a touring professional, I have depended on Gamakatsu my entire career to produce the sharpest and the strongest hooks. Known as a power fisherman, but yet if you're going to survive as a tour level pro, finesse is becoming more and more popular, regardless if we go north or we go south. So when you're choosing a hook, choose Gamakatsu. They have one for every technique and every body of water that you fish on.
Lights, sonar, action. Tired of waiting? See more action with world-class fish finders and sonar from Lowrance. Discover the hidden gems and pristine waters of Tennessee's B.A.S.S signature lakes. Conveniently located throughout Tennessee, there's a signature lake near you, covering all regions of the volunteer state, all endorsed by the legendary Bill Dance himself. Whether it's a weekend getaway or an extended vacation, create timeless memories at Tennessee's Bill Dance signature lakes. Plan your trip to
As a professional fisherman, every decision I make is to win.
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 The boat I drive,
Baits I throw,
the gear I wear.
I do it to win.
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 Because when I'm on the water, I want to be the best.
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 That's why.
That's why.
That's why.
That's why
we
wear the best.
Semi-final Saturday. Big things happening out on the water. I'm joined by Brandon Polnick, and pretty excited what's going on here right now. We got some breaking news going on. Me and you have been peered over a unit watching Kyle Welcher fish a fish, and the word is he caught said fish moments ago. Let's get out in the water right now and have a look at this right now. Hard to believe a guy with such a big lead makes a major shot here, but let's watch it.
Stay on this time, you big sucker. Oh my God, dude. Look at that freaking Bronco bug, baby. Dude, that's a freaking giant. I lost her 2 times. Yeah. It's gotta be, dude. Gosh. I lost her twice. Look at that freaking fish, dude. Oh my goodness.
Tell me the story, dude.
Dude, I found this fish and it was super, super aggressive. It bit first cast and I lost it. Oh, I'm shook up right now. I fished for it for like 15 minutes and it bit again and I lost it out there somewhere.
How many chances did you get? Yeah. That's gotta be 10 pounds.
Where's my small one? Dude. It's a freaking 10-pounder. It's a 10-pounder.
Yeah, dude. That's a freaking crank.
Y'all good in there? That one's.
Wow.
I'm at a loss of words right now. I mean, we knew it was big, and that's why we were, peered over trying to see if he was actually going to catch this fish. We knew he had lost it once. I didn't realize he had lost it twice. It had bit the first cast, and I'm like, I'm mind blown. He culled out a 1.5-pounder with a 10-pounder. I hope he shows it right here, the compare and contrast. I mean, it's amazing. The crazy part is, you look at Bass Track, he still has a 2-pounder.
Look, there's a fish he's calling.
Yeah, got rid of a 1.5-pounder with a 10-pounder. When you're living right, he's gonna weigh. He's got to be close to 30. Bass Track, he's got 29.25. I believe with 3 more hours to fish, he's gonna find another 5-pounder and cull out that 2-pounder, and he's gonna weigh over 30 again. 3 days in a row.
Triple dirty 30. Unbelievable. It's
insane.
Watching what he's doing, I mean, that fish had golf ball sized eyes.
You knew it was big. It's a different level. But when we were watching it, you could see it on his screen. When it turned up and it was nose down on his bait, it turned the length of the entire stump. Like, that's how you know it's a big
tell
one.
the difference between the two.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, we're joined by Brandon Palnick right now. And Brandon, you were in a similar situation, I say. You had a big lead at Okeechobee. But really what Kyle Welcher's doing right now really looks like what you did and makes it kind of not even that impressive, really.
Yeah, his lead is nearly the biggest bag I've ever weighed in the elites. 33.12. I weighed like 34.12 or something.
34.12.
So he's a pound away from the biggest bag I've ever weighed, and that's his lead.
Obviously, this from footage from that event.
Yeah.
Don't you jump.
Yeah, and I mean, that second day, I caught all those big ones on a crankbait. One was a prototype Mega Bass crankbait that is going to release soon, probably. And then this one you see here is on a Mega Bass Big M 4.0. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
it's just so cool. The last tournament I won, I caught a bunch from cranking. The very first Elite Series tournament I ever won, I caught them deep cranking. And when I grew up as a kid, I never even owned a deep crankbait. So it just kind of became one of those confidence things for me.
We haven't even had the chance to thank you, but you waited almost every day to catch your biggest one when we were on live. So that
We appreciate
really
it.
did us a favor.
And now Welcher returning the favor.
Yeah,
I mean, to catch that now. Unbelievable. A giant fish. And what blows me away is to do that after, it gets to the point where you're like, wow, there's really not much to watch with this guy. I mean, he's kind of walking away with this tournament.
Yeah.
That puts it in a whole different stratosphere. I mean, he realistically is well on pace to take the all-time record, which is 29 pounds, the biggest win margin record here this week.
He is. And honestly, I mean, I don't know what he's at 90 now. So he'd have to do some incredible stuff the next 2 days. But he's even not totally out of the question of the all-time 4-day record.
I mean, he's gonna.
Some crazy stuff.
Craziness. But he just caught a 10-pounder,
and he still has a 2-pounder in his bag today. So if he catches
another 10,
another 7 or 8-pounder, and then does the same thing again tomorrow, which apparently is not out of the question. I don't know. It's like crazy things are happening. When you're in a position like that, if weigh-ins happened right now, most likely he wouldn't even have to catch a bass tomorrow. When that happens, you just have to set different expectations for yourself, right? Like, he has to go tomorrow and say, if he weighs 30, 30, 30, he just has to set the goal and say, hey, I'm going to go catch another 30-pound bag.
Like, because it's fun.
Well, I mean, it is fun.
Well, you even said during the Okeechobee tournament that you weren't going to be satisfied unless you did what you knew you could do on the final day.
Yeah.
You knew you didn't need much, but, like, you weren't going to be happy unless you did what you knew you were capable of.
And I wasn't. I was not happy with how I finished on day 4. I was happy that I won, but I was not fully satisfied because I wanted to close that out. I wanted to catch another 20-plus pounds. And I know how competitive Kyle is. He's the same way. You know, he's not going to want to go out and just lay off it tomorrow. He's going to want to go and, you know, blow the doors off of it even more. But he hasn't moved.
Let's watch this again.
Okay,
this is
here we go.
Stay on this time, you big sucker.
So I thought we were about to watch him catch another one, but this is that 10-pounder that he just caught. He had lost it twice before. He said he found this fish, super aggressive. She bit on the very first cast. He knew it was a big one. He'd lost her 15 minutes after that. She came back again and obviously got her to bite again.
That's a freaking giant.
Insane.
Look at it.
I mean, it's just built different.
And every one of his fish. I mean, in a tournament dominated by long lines at gas stations, long runs, long nights at the service yard, he has literally not gone to the gas station once, and he's caught everything on one lure.
When it's your time, it's your time. Simplicity at its best. I always feel like the guy that is most dangerous to win an event is typically the guy that has the least amount of rods on his deck.
We know it's not going to be simple. You're getting a bronco bug for like the next however many months. Unbelievable. That bait is officially, I haven't checked, sold out everywhere, basically. I gotta imagine.
You can count on it. I think the thing that's even more scary is before he even found that fish, he said he was surprised. He was like, where did that fish come from? If there's more fish coming to him, like, this could get even more ridiculous.
For sure.
Wow. Unbelievable. Brandon Palnick. Doesn't get much better than that.
It's fun to watch. I'm going to go keep watching.
Yeah, well, don't go anywhere because we'll be right back in just a few minutes with another incredible guest. Gerald Swindle going to join us, and well, let's see if he can bring a 10-pounder across the camera while he's here. I mean, if anybody can do it, G can. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Elizabeth City, North Carolina, stop 3 of the 2025 Progressive Bassmaster Elite Series.
Serious anglers know that with every cast, there's a lot on the line. You need a line you can count on and trust.
Got him.
Uncompromising in its engineering, Suffix is stronger, tougher, and consistently reliable, like the anglers who depend on it. With Suffix, there's nothing you can't catch. Always use the best line.
We're off the clock to clock more fish, to fill our live wells and empty our coolers, because there's more to explore. The latest Humminbird fish finders work fast, see clearly, and know all the best spots. They fish even smarter paired with the Minn Kota and break down the water like never before. If you like your plans loose and lines tight, then it's time to explore. Only with Humminbird.
This is the brand new B.A.S.S. It's a little bit shallower than the original. It has more of that traditional bass boat look that I love. The layout of this boat's set up really, really nice. Really easy to fish out of, really easy to rig out of. Storage is insane. And this thing's a beast in big water, but also drafts super shallow. So, you know, just a really high performance machine. I can take this boat all across the country, whether I'm river beating or on the Great Lakes, and it handles everything flawlessly.
Good morning, commuters. Looks like we got traffic backed up for miles. Starting with a downed tree blocking East Avenue and a broken water main causing a bottleneck on the westbound lanes. We've got weekend travelers flooding the turnpike, meaning it's bumper-to-bumper traffic for the foreseeable future. I'd get comfortable. You might be there for a while.
trucks. Let's go places.
The iconic chatterbait, now reimagined. Introducing the Tungsten Evo. Engineered for precision with improved tactical feedback, a signature underwater sound, and the most advanced features in the chatterbait blade jig family. It's crafted for those who demand the best.
Hell yeah.
Join the new era of bass fishing with the Tungsten Evo.
The water demands power, and anglers seek a portable, efficient system built to take them further. That's where Newport delivers. Make long runs, reach untouched waters, and fish where others can't. Explore beyond the beaten path with confidence. Power your water, your way. Newport.
This is the Quick Cube.
Quick Cube.
The Quick Cube.
The Quick Cube.
The durability is my favorite thing about a Quick Cube. You can flip through them like a filing cabinet.
The clear window on these, I know exactly what's in there.
And I love this bag. I've got a bunch of them.
You know, if you want to squish them in a little bit, it's no big deal. That zipper is watertight, floats. I can just drop it right in the water, and then I can pull it right back out again, and it's totally dry on the inside.
Semifinal Saturday. Welcome into the Bassmaster Halftime Show presented by Bass Cat Boats, Elizabeth City, North Carolina. And for the first time this week, I'm starting to feel like Stone Cold Kyle Welcher. And what I mean by that is, he has 10-pounders roll into his area on semifinal Saturday. And he has a 90 pounds, 2 ounces. Look at that. It is 2 different tournaments. An incredible tournament from 2nd to 10th. Look how tight it is.
Those guys are shooting it out.
But I have 10-pounders rolling into my area in the way of big-time fishing stars. We're joined by Brandon Polnick, and now joined by the incomparable G-Man Gerald Swindle. Obviously, good buddy with Kyle Welcher. And,
yes.
I don't know what he's doing, but everybody needs to start doing it.
He's catching them. He is catching them. And you know, he talked to me in practice a little bit after it was over, and we had a text, and I should show you the text thread on the last night. I said, what do you think to get paid? He said, according to my practice or rumor? He said, my practice, 9 pounds a day. I said, we're on the same stuff. So he had a horrible practice, you know.
Yeah.
And he said he thought he knew where one fish was on bed. He was going to go start on it, thought it might be a 4-pounder. It was a 7. And he just so he called me that night to say, hey, bro, I didn't lie to you. I said, I knew you didn't. I knew you didn't. He said it just kind of started happening.
He said he gave himself an opportunity to get lucky close. And in the first hour, caught 2 big fish, and obviously is locked into that area. And by the looks of it, fish are coming to him.
Well, I think that was key that he catches those 2 early, because he slows down in that area, and look what he's discovering. If he blows through there and catches them 2 out, he starts making a long run. We're not having this conversation. But the more he stays there, the better it gets. So you got to look at that, like, why did he stay there? Those 2 big bites. He's like, let's just cruise around and look.
If he doesn't catch those 2 big ones first thing on the first day, we're looking at a close tournament.
Yeah, he's running around over there with me somewhere, hitting cypress trees and busting his knees, going, God, this place is tough. There's a lot of that going on, you know. And it's weird because people at home are seeing this weight, and I'm sure my dad's one of them going, I can't believe my son couldn't catch but 18 pounds. He sucks up there. It ain't that easy. Oh, yeah, he texts me, tough day. You got to get your stuff together. Don't suck tomorrow. You know, but like it looks really easy what he's doing, but he's dialed. He's really good at that. But it's not that easy just to go catch fish here.
Now over to our reigning Bassmaster Classic champion, Easton Fothergill, who's having a cute little tournament. When you see what Kyle Welcher
There you go.
is doing.
Licking the icing off the cake again. Just sticking your finger in it. Right in the cobbler. Just taking the glaze off. He just won the Classic. Cute little tournament he's having here.
I mean, boys, how would you, what analogy would you use? Like, give me an adjective. How's this tournament going compared to Kyle Welcher's?
Oh, God, not good. I mean, he has now lapped the field, okay? All NASCAR's behind the wall, and Kyle Welcher is letting it eat. He is gone. It is over.
Come on. I got to make this weigh-in somewhat dramatic.
Well, I'm going to say start reading some jokes tonight, some dad jokes, because when you get to this kind of lead on a tournament, it's over, is it not? It's over.
Now over to an angler that
has no shoes.
Yeah, allergic to shoes and has only ridden 2 escalators in his life.
And never gets cold. The man's in shorts no matter what. And he says, I'm from Maine. I said, well, you're insane from Maine because I'm freezing. We're all got jackets on. And look at this kid. Just catching bass barefooted.
Pouring rain. I mean, at the Classic, we're standing there. Everybody is bundled up. It is pouring rain. And he just, I mean, doesn't
Just Tyler Williams, just giggling, looking at you. I asked him before the tournament started. I said, how's the jig bite? He goes, that's pretty good.
Now over to an angler that we've had a camera on all 3 days of competition. He started the week with a camera and earned it each and every day. Brock Mosley didn't have a voice at the beginning of the week, but did his talking on the scales. And this is kind of one of those fisheries that sets up well for the way he fishes.
I actually picked him on fantasy fishing.
Do you play fantasy fishing?
Oh, I play when Rapala asked me to do the video.
Oh, okay.
We
appreciate it.
I'm not good at it because I picked myself, and I blew that for my dad, but I did pick Brock Mosley, and I picked Brandon Lester. I thought, and, you know, some of my guys are up there pretty good, but I picked Christie, so we had a rough one. I seen Brock on the first morning of practice, and he said, dude, I still don't have my voice. We all got sick at the Classic, and I still have not quite fully recovered, but he's doing his speaking with that fishing pole.
He sure is.
The guy's scrappy.
Speaking of Brandon Lester, had a good start to things this morning. Let's head over to him in topwater fishing, which makes the world a happier place.
God, is it not beautiful? Folks, get ready. This is something you can't see on your FFS. Brought to you by the good old days. Where men were men and rode horses to school.
Did you ride a horse to school?
Didn't have one. I walked. So I was bow-legged.
Couldn't even afford
Couldn't afford a horse. Hills were too steep.
Uphill both ways, too, of course.
Snowing. Oh, Kyle Patrick.
Some of the most energy we've seen today, the spaz, the fruit bat. Kyle Patrick, everything backwards, but it's heading forwards. He has his shorts backwards, his pants backwards, and he claims that never mind all these years he's practiced fishing, none of that is the reason he's here. It's all just the luck of the backwards clothing.
That's what he says. Always gets lucky. He says, gee, I just got lucky. I need that at night.
Lulu. I've seen your wife.
It's a lot of luck these guys got. He catches them every tournament. It's just luck. No, he's different. I like him.
Different? That's a good analogy. Let's listen into him because you know he's talking.
Oh, and it's good. Squirrel.
I'm taking a piss, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Perfect. Oh, God.
Hey, let's not listen to him. You know what? It's a long day on the water, an incredibly long day on the water.
Like we said there, it's a good time to go to a commercial break.
Yeah. To Brock Mosley, who is still actively angling.
Not dangling, angling. I just said that, didn't I? This Bass Live is really picking up.
Well, hey, I mean,
we got to make it good because this is a blowout. I mean, he's got a 488-point lead. Okay? His wife's not even nervous right now. She's already on the line shopping at Amazon going, Link needs some new shoes, and Mama going to get this money.
Gosh, that's got to be an incredible feeling. Do you think, oh, look at there, beautiful osprey, grebe maybe? Beautiful bird anyways. Brock hooked up
Mosley.
live.
Give it to us, Brock. It looks like he's throwing a chatterbait around, some dock poles. It's a big one.
Landing in the boat.
Oh my, it jumped.
was a spring-loaded fish.
Yeah.
Come on. I've had those kind of tournaments here lately, but they usually hit the graph and fall back in. Boat flipped him, landed in the boat. Sometimes it's got to go your way.
And that's a big fish right there. That's going to bring him within 52 pounds.
And there you go, licking the icing off the cake. Can't tell the story without a little old jab. A couple of more 12s and he'll be within 31 pounds.
I mean, the way this is setting up, Brock Mosley's not the only one who's going to lose his voice. Good chance I'm not showing up for weigh-in tomorrow.
Just think if you had a big intercom system and you could say, hey, guys, good job. Y'all are 41 pounds behind. Reckon they just come on back? God. Okay.
Let's check in with Drew Benton, two-time Elite Series champion.
Master sight fisherman, one of the top in the country.
Oh, hooked up live.
I like the hook set. What we got here, bro? Come on, Drew. Y'all got him?
I mean, he ain't big. Bigger
Another runner.
Well, then we got
These.
him.
We got fish bouncing all over.
I mean, they are
boats.
mean.
They are jumping.
Ornery this time of year.
You're trying to tell him that put me back, you don't stand a chance. There's a guy got a lot of my relatives in the big ones.
That's at number 2.
I talked to Drew. He's making a pretty good run, so.
Is he running as far as Cook? They're both running far, right? Like 2 hours?
Yeah. They're up to Chauhan.
Talk to me about that, because I don't think you guys get enough credit for that. How hard it is to make a long run like that. Like, I mean, these are not, when you think, oh, you drive a boat for 2 hours. If you're a recreational person just doing this, it is not driving a boat. It is literally getting your head beat in for 2 hours.
So I like to do, I try to explain it to Lulu sometimes. She said, how far are you running? I'll say 68 miles. She'll say, I'll say, okay, you're going to get in my truck, hang your head out the window, and I'm going to drive to our farm in Jasper 2 hours away. I said, that's what it's like. It's, and it works on you mentally, because a lot of things cross your mind when you're running. You know, do you have a spare trolling motor prop, spare big motor prop? There's a lot of things that can go wrong, so it mentally wears you out. And when the waves got big, the slower you drive, the more that weighs on you. And outside of that, you're getting beat up. You know, it's a sore, rough ride.
Even as bad as the roads are in Alabama, they're not as bad as the waves out there. That's for sure.
I felt like a bullfighter that was no good.
Let's head over to the Baby Shark, Shane LaHue, one of the North Carolina anglers that made the top 50. Him and Jake Whitaker, I believe, the two only North Carolina anglers.
You want to go ahead and hit me right now? I fished that right there yesterday. Dead serious. Fished right down through there. Caught 2 8-inchers and broke one off.
Probably nothing there.
Well, I beg to differ. He's there.
Oh, it turns out I was wrong. Sorry, Gerald.
Please stay on. I did not get a good hook set in her. Please
Look at this. I mean, just.
Yes.
And I've just smashed an 8-incher through there.
I was, and I snapped it off, and I watched her eat it. That's why I didn't get a good hook set. I popped it, and I was like, what was that flash? And I was like, oh my God, I got one.
High enough that I wouldn't live through it, because I'm afraid if I did something short, I'd have to swim back.
As long as the weights don't get astronomically good.
Yeah. Yes, I brought the fish catches. I couldn't catch them, but I brought them to you.
You definitely, I mean, Polnick was here when we saw 10-pounder caught, and I thought there's no way to top that. But
look at here.
You need therapy after this.
I'm just telling you.
I'm not talking cheap
so
stuff.
You want the people at home to take grip of this. There was a lot of us fished that area. I honestly fished through there yesterday evening, had about 45 minutes. I made it down that pass. I was flipping a brush hog, caught a few shorts, broke one off, but in my mind, they're there. This is all about timing. Timing is everything when you're fishing the bank like that, and you see just how easy he made it look.
What's a good thing?
And I'm thinking about jumping.
Promote positive mental attitude, because you need
pretty
one to get through
positive.
this.
They didn't bite mine. Bad boys, bad boys. I'm throwing the white flag up. You know how a boxer, when he gets knocked out, Coach, throw the flag in,
Throw in
Mercer.
the towel. Here he goes. Gerald Swindle out. The amazing Gerald Swindle, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you at Hartwell. Big week ahead for that. I know big things. I'm expecting big things, right?
Yes. Not as big as what we're seeing here. The icing has been licked off the cake by a guy named Kyle Welcher.
Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in just a few minutes' time. Bassmaster Halftime Show.
New York State's world-class waterways are an angler's paradise. With vast coastlines, thousands of rivers and lakes, and hundreds of fish species, New York offers some of the best fishing in the world. Your next big catch is just a cast away. Whether you're looking to break records or just enjoy a day on the water, you'll find it's easy to love New York. Reel in your next great adventure when you plan your fishing getaway at iloveny.com.
Yamamoto baits transform the world of fishing with groundbreaking innovations like the twin-tail hula grub and the legendary Yamamoto Senko.
Now, essential in every angler's tackle box. Our commitment to crafting the highest quality soft plastic lures remains as strong as ever. Whether you're finesse fishing, power fishing, or anything in between, we've got you covered. Discover the full range of Yamamoto's soft plastic baits and watch as the fish come to you. Because what you fish matters.
There's a big one in the reeds ahead. I know it. He doesn't care who I am, what titles I have, how many blue trophies I got, that I've fished since I could walk, or that I've spent countless hours on the water for this moment. It's me versus the fish, and I like to win.
Introducing Live Ops from Nomad Design. Equipped with our all-new adjustable technology, allowing you to insert tungsten balls to unlock hundreds of rigging options. Control the action, control the sink rate, and increase your bait's visibility on forward-facing sonar. Dial in your own finesse approach and stand out from the rest with Live Ops.
So we're not all professional anglers. We don't all compete on the biggest stage. But inside us all burns the same fire to be a champion. It's why you get out early, brave the toughest conditions, point the bow toward adventure and put the hammer down. For whatever trophy or fish or memory you're chasing, count on a Mercury Pro XS outboard, engineered to deliver the speed and reliability you need to power the champion inside you.
The newest addition to the Flashpoint line, the deep version. Having a jerkbait that gets down to that 10 to 12 foot range is a must. The reason I'm grabbing or picking up the Flashpoint is because of that blade right there. It does two things. It provides flash, the most important thing. It's a different Flashpoint under the water that the fish haven't seen. It's a small, unique profile that mimics a small bait fish. The deep will get you down to that 10 to 12 foot range and reach those deeper suspended fish.
The Yamaha VMAX V6 SHO continues to deliver the level of performance that pro bass and multi-species anglers demand. Underneath a bold and aggressive new look, an upgraded charging system with 40% more charging power meets the amped-up demand for today's advanced electronics. The VMAX SHO, raw power, reliability, and exhilarating performance for every angler who loves the sport enough to invest in the best. Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
Welcome back in. Semifinal Saturday Bassmaster Halftime Show presented by Bass Cat Boats. Elizabeth City, North Carolina, the host for our third stop of 2025. And what a stop it has been. Right now, people looking at record books, seeing what records we can see go down here this week with Stone Cold Kyle Welcher. An incredible tournament, incredible halftime show. We've had 10-pounders. We've had lots of big fish. Now we got Bo Knows and with Steve Bowman, and it's always great to have you here, Steve Bowman. But here's what I know. I know bass fishing is a lot of fun when you're watching bass fishing, and we have more action off the water right now, and it is with the main event. Tyler Williams hooked up moments ago. Let's watch this.
Shoeless Tyler.
Is it too big to boat flip? Yeah. And it's got the jig kind of sketchy.
It's a good one, too.
There we go. Let's go. The jig fell out of its mouth. I was gonna flip it, but I saw way too much jig. I wasn't comfortable with it. There we go. It's not a giant one, but it's a pretty big one. It calls a 1-pounder, so that's gonna go a long way. Man, we just fished forever before getting another bite. 4-pounder. Wow. Now we just gotta get back safe because it's gonna be hard to cull. Might be able to, but.
Well, I think I can go on the record and say they're biting out there, Kyle Jesse.
Absolutely, and I think it's safe to say, I know we're going to get to Bo Knows, but I think we know the guys are having some good fortune out there. That's 3 fish catches in a row.
Wow.
Bait has either come out of the fish's mouth on the boat flip, or, we just saw Tyler, obviously the jig came out as soon as he landed it. Pretty good stuff happening out there.
Incredible tournament, and people predicted that it was going to get better as we moved into the weekend. Weather a little bit more stabilized. We're going to see guys with a little bit more space in their areas, and those that predicted it were definitely correct. The question is, will Bo Knows be correct here today?
Well, I've been pretty close most of the time. Bo knows that.
All right.
But what Bo knows that I found, and you guys know this as well, but we've had 2 double-digit fish caught this year in the Elite Series. Now, well, the interesting thing about those 2 double-digit fish is both of them were hooked multiple times before they came to the boat.
Great point.
You never see or hear of those kind of things, a whole lot. But it's amazing to me that the 2 largest fish caught this season had a hook in them more than once.
Wow.
So,
yeah, David Gaston, obviously the first one.
That's right, and then Kyle Welcher. But what I want to talk about is that growth in catch rates and how everybody wanted to make it to Saturday. So what I know, Bo Knows, day 2 saw the largest improvement in catch rates for day to day for the whole season. Basically, there was almost, and I'll explain it. There was a 10.5% improvement in overall catch rates from day 1 to day 2 that equates to at least an additional 2.5 pound per angler. Now, where it gets really interesting, though, is when it showed up for the big bass. The big bass started showing up yesterday at a very fast rate. The growth in fish over 5 pounds was simply incredible. For fish over 5 pounds, there was a 258% growth from day 1 to day 2. That's, you're talking about lapping the field. That laps the field 3 times, 2.5 times anyway. So, not only did those 5 pound fish almost triple in numbers, but there was more than 15% growth in the weights. The average weight on day 1 for those big bass, 5 pounds above, were 5'4". Yesterday, it was 6'2". And with Welcher and a few of these others, we've seen some 6-7 pounders caught from guys who don't have cameras in them. Koya's got a 6+. There's several like that are out there. My expectation is that 6 pound or that heavy weight average will go up even exponentially today with less people on the water. We've seen a lot of big fish. So this is a truly special place. Bo knows that.
Who's going to win this tournament, Steve Bowman?
Tyler Williams. No.
It's pretty academic. It is, you know, the wind is like what Palaniuk was talking about earlier. What does Welcher say the line is, and whether he hits that or not? Because everybody else is fishing for points, and points are important. We've had this discussion many times. 2 to 3 points can decide an AOY race or a classic berth. So those guys that are out there beating their heads against the wall and, you know, like Swindle falling down and breaking kneecaps and stuff like that, that's still a real part of the game. Even though Welcher is catching dirty 30s every day, there will be nine guys tomorrow who will be fighting for their life in some other aspect.
An incredible tournament, history-making tournament. They said that we were going to see big fish. We said this was going to be a different fishery. But, man, they said it to Kyle Welcher a little better than anybody else. 90 pounds and 2 ounces. Tyler Williams right behind him with 57 pounds and an ounce. And you look at how tight that, you know, the second to 9th is, or second to 10th is. It's a pretty good tournament. Other than that, Kyle Welcher walking away with this thing. Kyle, Jesse going to win it?
I think so.
Wow.
Looks like I think he can sleep in tomorrow.
Anything can happen. Don't go anywhere.